We finally got our Superman trailer. And what do you guys think? Honestly, thought it looked pretty good. I'm a little worried that it might be a little too angsty still. That's my biggest problem with the Man of Steel, the Zack Snyder movie, or Batman versus Superman. With all the problems with those movies, I think that the biggest thing was that maybe they were just a little too angsty. It's not how I view my Superman personally. I guess everybody's got their own take on it, right? This is James Gunn's take on it. This is what hopefully will propel DC into a cinematic universe, or one that maybe everybody likes, actually, I guess is what I should say. That it being said, I believe that this looks like a good start. You got to also see Hawkman, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, or was it Hawk Girl? Oh my gosh, I cannot remember. I'm getting old. Um, there, Lex Luthor, obviously, Metamorpho, who I believe is the main villain, Crypto, who had a really cool scene in this trailer. Um, there's a lot of things that I think were teased for going forward. The overall scope. The reason why I'm a little worried about Angsty is it just seemed a little like he's a god, where in my mind Superman, while he has the powers of a god, Superman is a human being, even though he's not. I know that sounds crazy, but in my mind he is a human. He in some ways is more human than anyone. I have described him as that in the past. And personally, that's kind of what I liked about Superman. But they may not, this might just be the way the trailer is. There's a lot of callbacks to the Christopher Reeve movies, which I believe are the best Superman movies, some of the best tales of Superman. The theme music was very similar of the original John Williams score. The font that they used for like the names of things was also very similar as well. Had that like 3D look to it that almost. I'm actually really wonder if the opening credits will have kind of the scroll text that kind of goes up that you saw in the original Superman movies. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that this kicks off a DC universe of films that honestly they just need to mirror what the animated shows were from the 90s. The Superman animated series is what this should be a lot of like. The Batman animated series, which everybody loves, that should be how the Batman is in this universe. And then everybody kind of fall along into the JLA universe, which was excellent, which was it's believed to be an actual direct sequel to those shows. It always kind of felt slightly different in my mind. The tone was a little different, especially I guess compared to Batman, because the Batman one was very dark compared to the other things. But that being said, I think that that's the best way to make the JOA. Also, this is coming along when Marvel is at an extremely low point. Marvel has fallen from here to pretty much off the scale, basically. And so to me, this is a best time for DC to step in, make good movies, don't overreach themselves, don't take themselves too serious. I think that was the biggest problem with the last set of DC movies. I like them, but they still were just a little too serious at points. And I don't want them to completely copy the Marvel style. They should have their own style. This looks like physically, like the way it looks amazing. And so I hope they stay with that. We're seeing things that we've never seen in any iterations of movie characters, of the DC characters, which is cool. I think like lean into DC's slightly cheesiness because they're the OG superheroes with Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman predating, Spider-Man and Fantastic Four and X-Men, that second generation, that 60s wave that we got later. I think that this is the way to this could be a good start. July is as our day. I believe it was July 11th. So I'm hoping that we get a good time to at the theaters because to me, I'm looking for Superman is my favorite character, without a doubt. He's my favorite superhero of all time, and I don't think he's been 100% done justice since the Christopher Reeve movies, which are funny because I never really watched those when I was a kid. I actually watched those as an early adult, and at first I always thought they were kind of cheesy, but now understanding more about Superman's mythos and his character, uh, uh, this is how I like it. I want Superman to be like the original Man of Steel John Byrne run from the '80s, right after the Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's kind of how I envision my Superman. And the Superman from like the animated series is very similar in a lot of ways. And so to me, I really am curious where this is going to go. um, I didn't like the logo at first for Superman, but now I'm actually kind of digging it. Uh, Another YouTuber had it on a shirt already, and it looks pretty cool on a shirt. It makes me do want to buy one, which I know DC will be putting out tons of that kind of stuff in the future. So I think it's starting to get to me. The costume is kind of this weird mix between the Man of Steel, but also old school with like the red trunks being on there, but at the same time, kind of having a modern like a modern military suit kind of like design, like internal like little stitching on the inside of it. You really could notice it in the trailer when he's getting hit in the back of the head by a random person. And why is he being persecuted is actually a story that, I'm sure will be a big point of this. um and you can see the costume. There's a lot of good details. I think that there's gonna be people on here that are gonna be dissecting the crap out of this. I think it was like about a 2 minute and 20-second trailer, and I'm really curious to see what I missed, what everyone else has missed, and going frame by frame. Uh, the introduction to crypto was really cool. I thought that was like one of the coolest things I've seen in a movie trailer in a while, and I knew who it probably was when he whistled. To see like this like cloud of like snow and ice like flying in the air from this something running, and then it shows, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's a different take. It humanizes Superman, which is something that I don't want him to be an alien. He's meant to be basically an immigrant to America. That's realistically kind of what his character has ended up becoming, an immigrant into America, seen as an immigrant coming to the world. And also that has world implications about being a citizen of the earth and not necessarily a citizen of a country or an entity. And it's funny that it takes somebody from the outside to show us more of humanity than somebody who is human themselves. And the only other thing that I will say about the trailer is they didn't show Ma Kent. So spoiler alert, I think Ma Kent dies in this, either in the movie or before. There's a scene where it shows him with Pa Kent, and Pa Kent looks like he's crying, and Clark, it looks like he is trying to console Pa. And I wonder if they're doing the reversal of every other Superman trope that has been in the movies, TV series, and everything. Smallville had Pa Kent die. What is this? It might be Ma Kent dies. I really wonder if they're going that way, that they're kind of doing something. They want it to be different. They really do want this Superman to be different. And the Pa Kent always kind of, something happens to him usually. Even if he doesn't die, he always has something catastrophic happen to him. Usually something like his heart attack or something, because he's usually really old. And it would be interesting. I would prefer to keep them together, and have that long term if they want to, but it looks like we might be getting a tease to something such as that in the future, or in this movie. I'm not exactly sure. I just think that that's something we should probably keep our eye on in more trailers or more information that comes out, because I almost wonder if this was something that was planned and they're just not really telling anybody. So I'll leave it out there for everyone out there. What was your thoughts? What did you think? Please let me know in the comments. I am definitely going to be commenting back. Superman's my favorite character. I can't wait to cover him more and more and more. Now, the only thing we need left is a freaking Superman game. Please, please, somebody make me just a Superman game that's not Superman 64 and is actually rather fun. Please. I'll leave that at then. Let me know what your thoughts were in the comments. Take care, guys. See ya.